There are so many women telling me lately they feel rejected physically by their husband. They don't feel desired. If you're in a similar situation, like the women I work with, where you feel he's not attracted to you anymore, he doesn't want you, he's not touching you. And when you try to do the touching, flirting, initiating inside the bedroom, outside of the bedroom, you get rejected. A simple example is you are longing for a hug, physical affection. I love hugs. And you go and hug your husband, but he doesn't hug you back. You don't get that full on hug that you needed, right? Like you just, it's just an awkward situation, but it feels like you were trying to give something and he didn't receive. Not only he didn't receive, he didn't give back because that's what you wanted all along, to be hugged. So, all in our general, small moments like this throughout the day, throughout the months, throughout the years, I do have clients who didn't have physical intimacy for 1, 2, or 3 years. Small moments like this make you feel just in general rejected, not desired, not sexy, not, I don't know, not beautiful, not amazing, right? Like not like you are the prize in this relationship. And this is what actually created polarity in the beginning. So stay on. I want to have a small chat around this and tell you 1 or 2 small things you can stop doing and or start doing that will reverse this kind of polarity between you, like making him want to come to you and hug you and touch you and want to be with you. Like we call it in a dating and relationship, we're calling pursuing, chasing, pursuing. So most of the times where in sexless marriages, by the way, sexless marriage is 12 times a year or less. Um, there are many reasons that are talked about in by therapists and in interviews and podcasts all around the world, like social media and Netflix. And we're very focused in the Western world on achieving, doing more. Of course, that's tiresome and stressful, right? Like we are more stressed and burnt out and depressed and anxious, and but we're still trying to achieve more, do more, earn more money, have a better, like climb up the ladder. So there's this, there's social media and Netflix, right? And they are interfering with the physical intimacy in relationships and in marriages. The number one reason it's still the relationship itself, the relationship being strained, and emotional intimacy. So lack of emotional intimacy leads to lack of physical intimacy, lack of relational skills, connection, and communication, that is in the right side of the brain. So we are very smart and intelligent in our left side of the brain with all the achieving and doing, but the left side of the brain, we don't use it anymore. That is that's um, responsible for relational intelligence. So theoretically we should have it, but we don't use it. It's just a part of the brain that we don't use. So what you don't use, you kind of lose. That happens with muscles too. So, as I said, the problem is the relationship itself. Most of the times, we think it's us that, I will say, like in my situation, I'm putting myself in that situation. I was in that situation a long time ago, many years ago, that I didn't feel good enough. I didn't feel beautiful enough. I didn't feel worthy. So it's all about a lot of like self-esteem. We already have a fragile self-esteem and self-confidence. Of course, that feeling rejected will make us feel worse, right? So we make it mean all about us, and we're trying to solve it from the outside. The problem is the relationship itself. So there's you, there's your husband, and the relationship between you. Something's not safe there. Maybe there's controlling, disrespecting, lack of connection, just looking into each other's eyes and talking about something meaningful to you can be connection, or just listening, just being listening and being present. These two things, if we would do them, like they create huge connection. But we're so disconnected from our lives and so busy and so focused on everything else, and we don't even have attention to like focus just on one person. And we have our phones and everything, right? So it's the relationship itself that is the problem. It's not you, the problem. It's not you not being good enough, not worthy enough, not just in general, not good enough. So it's not about you, it's the relationship itself. So it's not your fault. It's, let's say, the relationship is strained. But as a woman, you do have power on like changing that relationship just by you focusing on yourself. You like start with you and then doing some relational skills, right, that I talked about, like from the right side of the brain, listening, connecting, respecting, just being present, will change how the relationship is. That will also change polarity, right? Like when there's emotional intimacy, when there's femininity, because you connect yourself, you change the polarity, and your husband wants to spend time with you, give you affection in all the ways possible. So it's about reversing polarity. In the end, it's just reversing polarity. What I say to women, like, firstly, instead of like how we try to solve this problem with the physical affection, we try to talk about it. This is the most logical, again, from the left side, like we're trying to be logical, talk about it, do all the things. Okay, if he's not initiating, I will initiate, I will come up with solutions. Let's go to couples therapy, let's do that thing, let's do that thing, let's go to on date night, let's watch a movie, let's do that. So we kind of repair it somehow, but of course it doesn't. So if you would just choose to not do anything, it will help you more than doing all the things. It's so counterintuitive. Like if you stop doing all the things, like talking about it, doing it's a lot of chasing and pursuing energy from your side, which repels men, which repels your husband. He doesn't know why. He cannot explain it logically why, but he feels repelled because his DNA, his cells, his animalistic part, his unconscious brain inside of him know that he should be the one doing the pursuing and chasing, and you should be the one who's the prize in this relationship as the woman, right? So the problem is when we feel rejected, right? Like we make it feel about us that we're not good enough. Then we start the begging, asking, pleading, giving, trying to take. Like it's just a lot of um, masculine energy, we would say, right? The solution is actually to take a step back and work on your worthiness and self esteem inside instead of like working on getting him to give you that physical affection, right? So we think that if our husbands would tell us all the beautiful things and would give us like all the physical and emotional affection, we will feel good about ourselves. The truth is, I would tell you, like I've been there, like my self-esteem was always an issue. My husband always told me the most beautiful things you can imagine. Always, no matter, like if I just gave birth, I was the most beautiful woman in the world for him. But because I didn't believe it, I couldn't take on like anything he would give me. So we think that we solve for our self esteem and feeling good and sexy and beautiful and everything if our partner would give us that physical affection or would give us like anything, right? But it's an inner kind, like it's an inner work thing. So until you don't feel good with yourself, until you don't feel worthy and you're the prize in this relationship, connected to yourself, it's an inner kind of work. It's self-confidence, self-esteem, it's all self-worth. That's why I think in most programs, in most therapies, we start with self, right? You cannot repair anything outside of you if you are not okay. So this should be your focus, not on doing, not on chasing, not on pursuing, you making yourself feel good, you making yourself feel worthy, and seeing that you're worthy and seeing that you are the prize in this relationship. It's your birthright to have all the physical affection and attention and all the gifts and the compliments and everything as the woman, as the wife in a relationship. It's your birthright, right? You don't have to beg for them and ask for them and fight for them. So take a step back, connect to yourself, right? And this will make you magnetic. This will transform the polarity. This will make it so that your husband is the one who comes home, or when you come, like he's looking for you. Where are you? I want to hug you. I want to kiss you. oh my God, I don't know why, but it feels so bad when I'm not with you. I cannot wait to be with you. I want to touch you, kiss you, hug you, and everything, right? Like this is magnetism. This is what you get. Like, first step, do nothing instead of doing all the things. But step number two is actually work on yourself, making yourself feel good and feel worthy. And this creates magnetism. Again, the process is raising your self-worth. That will make you connect to him and communicate in a way that is relationally intelligent, right? You won't ask and beg and control, and you won't be disrespectful, right? Like anything that is making the relationship not feel safe or making the polarity reversed. Again, the results, he will want to touch you more and more. Thank me later. Can keep his hands of you and hug you and kiss you and whatnot. By the way, this is how I work. I work with relational intelligence. I have a program called Smart Wife, especially because it's about relational intelligence, which does start with you. Um, I will put a link to it's kind of a discovery call, consult call that all I speak to all women before they work with me. Just I want to make sure that I can help them. I want to see what their challenges are, what is working, what is not working. I take them through an exercise. Like, I can take you through this exercise. I love doing these calls with women, and women love them. We go through 7 areas of your marriage, and we see like exactly what is working at what not, and what would relational intelligence and the Smart Wife program look like for you, meaning exactly your steps, your personalized step. What is the work that needs to be done in your personal relationship? So I will link that call somewhere in the description, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.